All right, let's go. Fantastic. So we are going to talk today about any questions you guys have on US immigration. So let's make sure we have all your questions answered, and I'll go over and address them. Okay, so one of the things that I really wanted to talk about is this misconception that doing it on your own is somehow the solution. Filing on your own, doing the paperwork on your own is the actual solution to your problems. And while you may actually think that when you're filing an application on your own, and you're allowed to, nobody says you cannot. While you think you may have a very easy case because your brother and your cousin and whoever else you did it, or you did it on your own 15, 20 years ago and were successful, doesn't necessarily mean you are going to be successful. Or if you are going to be successful, it does not mean that you are not going to have issues on your application. Okay, so you might have problems, okay, responding to a request for evidence. You may not know what the request for evidence says. So to give you an example, we have a client who got a request for evidence and they schedule a consultation. We were not the one who filed the request for evidence. We were not the ones who filed the initial application. So they came to us when they got a request for evidence because they didn't know what to do, even though the request for evidence in this case was very short. Okay. And it only asked for a couple of things. Okay. You do not, unless you have formative legal training, you will not be able to read the request for evidence and respond to the government in such a way that you are actually responding to exactly what they asked for. Okay, so yes, can you do it on your own? Absolutely. Is that optimal? Probably not. Why is that? You do not understand the legal lingo that is included in the request for evidence. You do not understand the sections of the law that they are referencing. You will not know how exactly to overcome what the government is saying it's an issue in your case. You do not know exactly what is the government looking for precisely, because what you think they're asking for and what exactly they are asking for very seldom is the same thing. So we just need to be very careful, okay, when we are responding to requests for evidence. So this particular couple came to see us when they got the request for evidence. They filed on their own. The application wasn't bad. They had to show us a copy of the application, but there were a couple of things, just a couple of things that were not clear enough on their application. And that's exactly what the government focused on when they issued the request for evidence. So it's something to consider. You think you may be saving money by doing it on your own in the beginning. It will cost you significantly more if you need to hire an attorney later on in the process to overcome whatever the issue is. Okay. Not only that, with the properly filed application from the beginning, properly documented, properly prepared, making sure there are no inconsistencies, making sure you meet the legal burden. With that, you increase your chances of actually doing it on the cheap, because you have to do it once and do it right, and you'll get the response much sooner. We have been very successful in getting our clients permanent residency in a few months. Is that all over the United States? No. In some places in the United States, it is longer. Where we are, though, we file at the central location. Everybody files at the same place, 2 different places. And you don't get to shop around where you are going to file. But when you are filing it, okay, the more complete your application is the first time, the faster you are going to get your residency. Okay, we have had clients who never even see the work permit because the green card comes that fast. Is that on every case? Absolutely not. So let's see what questions we have so far, see what we can address. I'll try to address as many questions as I can, so just put them in the chat. Just don't put them more than once, please. I will start ignoring you if you do that, okay? I won't. So let's see your messages. Let's see who has questions. How long it's a sibling under 21 have to wait after I-130 is approved? It depends. It depends on your country. Siblings are the lowest category. And right now, I think minimum is like 14 years. Let's just go and see. Visa Bulletin. As they just gave, last week, they came up with the October 2023 bulletin, the Visa Bulletin. And that's what dictates, okay, how long your case is going to be. Remember, for a sibling, generally speaking, you first have to file the I-130. I know in your case, your I-130 was already approved, so I'll address that in a second. But the I-130 alone for a sibling could take 4 to 5 years. Does it really matter how long that takes? No, because the priority date is the date of the receipt. And then if we are looking at the Visa Bulletin, they are now processing applications filed in April 2007. So we are looking at 16 and a half years. Now, if you are from India, it's 2 years longer than that. If you are from Mexico, it's 23 years. If you are from Philippines, it's 21 years. You need to look at other options for your sister or your brother to see if they have other options to come to the United States, because they could be retired by the time they come here. And don't forget this. So you have a few years in the beginning, then you are current, and at some point you'll be able to apply for the visa application, and that alone takes another 2 to 3 years. Okay, so you might want to have a consultation with an experienced immigration attorney and see if your sibling perhaps has other options to come to the United States. Depends on your country. Do we have a treaty? Can they come as students? Can they come as she's under 20, he or she is under 21, maybe they can come with a student visa. There are many other options that should be available to your sibling rather than waiting. He or she is under 21. If you have to have them wait another 15 years, you know, we are waiting a long time. Let's look at other options, okay? How long does it take to get your EAD? My PT says 10 months, but I'm waiting for 9 months. If it says 10 months, you've been waiting for 9. It depends on the category and where exactly you applied. Is it based on marriage? Is it based on what other category? It doesn't give me enough information. Also, where you filed, okay? So give me the first 3 letters of your receipt, and I can see if I can give you a better answer. If your initial green card application is filed properly, most of the time you actually get the green card before you even get the work permit. Again, it depends on where you live. It shouldn't take 10 months. It's about 8 in most places. You might be able to file a service inquiry to see if you can, you know, speed it up a bit. Maybe if you have a job offer that needs you, maybe with a letter from the employer, you might be able to expedite. So there are okay, so it's based on marriage and it's IOE, so it's in Potomac. Okay, so let's see, okay? Let's see what they say. It takes a while to pop up. As soon as I see it, I'll let you know, Misty, okay? So we are looking at a work permit. So it's based on a pending green card application because that one is still pending. It's still pending. Let's see. All others, pending C9. Let's see, you have Potomac. – It has it listed at 10 months. So as soon as you check your priority date and as soon as your priority date is passed, file an inquiry. Okay. Don't wait, Misty. Okay. Now you should have received something about your green card application. Tell me where you live so we can look at that a bit more. Okay. National Benefit Center. Yeah, it's 10 months. All right. Have gone for interview. I have not gotten a response for the past 60 days. Okay, Mosh. So here is the thing. When you go for a green card interview, they generally speaking have 6 months to make a decision on your case after you went for the interview. You should not, I don't encourage my clients to file an inquiry on their case until about 3 months later. And even that would be a soft inquiry. And then once it's past 6 months, then you can actually send a letter to the field office and see if they can push it. Now, when you have gone to an interview and you have not received a response and it's been 60 days, these are a few things that can happen. Okay. They could be doing a fraud investigation. The fraud unit could be coming to your neighbor's place of employment and so on to ask about you and your relationship, perhaps with your spouse, if that's the case in your case. They could be looking at something in your history and see if you perhaps had immigrant intent, you lied on a visa application, you had other applications that were filed before and denied, or you had a visa application. They are looking at your immigration history. You could be getting a request for additional evidence, or you could be getting a request for evidence that is asking for you to file a waiver for your inadmissibility reasons. So you should talk to your immigration attorney and see what are they thinking, what may have happened in your case, because I will not know as much as your attorney knows. Okay, but generally speaking, that's what you see. You see a request for evidence, you get a request for evidence, by the way, about 87 days to respond. Notice of intent to deny, which is pretty much the same thing. They only give you 30 days to respond. If you know there is something going on in your case while you are still waiting for that, then you should prepare the answer. You should look for the documents. You should try to obtain everything that you need to obtain so you can have it the minute you get it, because you don't know which document you're going to have. You don't know what they want, and you do not want to run past the deadline. If you don't have an immigration attorney, get a copy of your entire application, including all the documents that you submitted, and make an appointment for a paid consultation with an immigration attorney so they can look at it and give you some insight. Okay. BIA appeal process time. Oh boy, Shirish, we have some cases pending at the BIA 2.5 years. So that's what we are seeing. Okay. Misty, December 17. Thanks for giving me the priority date. Okay, thanks. South Carolina. Okay, let's see. All right. All right, well, this is not working. Their website sucks. All right, Misty, I'll get back to you, okay? I'll look at it. How long does asylum take? That is the $1 million question, okay? I'll address it. You're not going to like my answer, but this is what it is. It could take over 10 years. There are people who applied years and years and years ago who are still waiting. There are people who arrived recently and they had their cases heard, okay? So it used to be first in, first out. That means the older applications were always processed, okay, fast. They changed the order in which they are processing the applications from first in, first out to last in, first out, because they wanted to deal with the new arrivals and get them out before they got a chance to settle in the United States. That is the main idea behind everything that when they changed that, okay? They wanted to prevent them from settling. They wanted to prevent them from getting married, having other options. So they changed from first in, first out to last in, first out. Well, that created a situation where the people who have been waiting a long time are still waiting, and they will still be waiting. There is nothing you can do to speed that up. Try to look into other options. If asylum is the only option that you have, you might have to wait a long time. So Amadi, you might want to tell me when you applied and where you applied. Okay. Misty, so they requested evidence. Misty, when they request evidence, okay, nothing is happening while you have the request for evidence in your hand and until they get it back. Okay, so if you got the request for evidence 3 months ago and you just responded to it, those 3 months don't even count as part of the past 10 months. So it's basically like it didn't even occur. So let's hope they requested. What did they request in your request for evidence? Did they want financials or did they want medical? What was it that they wanted? Or did they just want another copy of a birth certificate or something? Let me know. Janu, after how many days for apply work permit in asylum? You can't apply for the first year. You have to wait, okay? When did you apply for asylum? Michael, I need your office for my citizenship application. Michael, please give us a call. Our number is 954-466-0070, okay? So give us a call. We do not give a free consultation, but when you hire us, when you book a consultation and you hire us, we give you credit for the consultation fee. Okay, so what do you have to lose? We get started on your case right away. Let's just do your citizenship, but make sure it's citizenship that you want, okay? If you are saying that you have other cases going on, then it's different, okay? Time for work permit for later added dependent in asylum when principal already has an employment authorization document. It varies greatly. I don't even want to venture to see how long that would take. Misty, I'm stressed because I have a son and I can't get to help her. When I check the inquiry date is 11/23/23. So it's nothing you can do for another 2 months, okay? You said you have a son, you can get to help her or him. Son is him, daughter is her. So what do you mean you can't get to help them? Where are they? Where is your child? What happens when all documents get approved and you're waiting for an interview? First, when you say all documents got approved, do you mean at the National Visa Center and it says documentarily qualified? Or what do you mean by that? Are you waiting for a consular interview? Let me know, Zelly, okay? So, Misty, if they requested your medical, tax returns, and signature from your stepmom, I have a feeling you will be getting the green card and you will not get a work permit. You'll probably get the green card without an interview and you'll get it sooner rather than later if you just responded, okay? So hopefully that's good news. How long do the waivers take? Oh boy, so let me tell you, 601A waivers. We have a colleague that just had one approved from January 2020. So you do the math. Approved I-130 15 years ago. Can I reapply? Well, what kind of I-130? Who petitioned for you? If you didn't apply for a visa back then, why didn't you? It could be considered abandoned. In most cases, you may want to file a brand new I-130, okay? Not always, but you could, okay? And sometimes that's the best option. Sometimes you don't need to do anything but proceed with the next step. So when you say, can I reapply for what? What did you do with the I-130? Now, if the I-130 was approved and your visa is not current, your priority date on your approved I-130 is not current, then is nothing you can do to apply for the visa and proceed on with the case, okay? So you could give us a call, send us the application, book a consultation, and we can look and see what would be the best option for you after. Hopefully you have already an immigration attorney. Can you go visit your home country after you become US citizen through asylum? Yes, but only after you become a US citizen. I know so many people who decide to go all of a sudden to visit their home country and they are not a citizen yet. You do not want to do that, okay? You just don't. I have an approved asylum 1 year ago and my work permit expired. Do I still need it or no? It depends. It depends. Did you get your green card application filed? Did you not get it filed? What is the status of your green card application if your asylum was already approved? Okay, so Zelly, NVC has approved all the documents. So the next thing, okay, so this is what happens when your case becomes documentarily qualified at NVC. After it becomes documentarily qualified, you are placed in line for an interview at your particular consulate, wherever you are from. So let's say for argument's sake, you are from Jordan, okay? So until it's documentarily qualified, you are not even on the list for an interview at Amman, okay? Now let's say you are on the list. What happens then? NVC is waiting for the consulate who every 30 days will let them know how many interviews they are going to be able to schedule. So for example, this is the way it works, okay? Let's say you're documentarily qualified and today is September the 26th. At the end of the month, the consulate in Amman is going to let NVC know and say, for the month of November, not October, for the month of November, we have 30 appointments available or 300 appointments available. So that then NVC is going to look based on your priority date and which line are you on and how many people are ahead of you, and they are going to schedule the next 30 or 300 interviews for the month of November, okay? So you have to wait until your turn comes. There is not much you can do to expedite that unless you have a child that's aging out in a few extreme circumstances. So hopefully, Zelly, that was clarifying for you. I applied for asylum in New York on June 2016, but I didn't get any things. So how long to the interview? First, when you say you didn't get any things, I need to know if you got a receipt. If you have a receipt, you can check the processing time. June 2016 is not even old, okay? So you can check processing times and see. Now, if you didn't get a receipt, you didn't apply. So depends on who helped you. There are people out there who will tell you, I'll help you and I'll apply for you. And then they take your money. Some notarios do that. They'll take your money and then they'll never file for you. Okay. So just make sure you actually get a receipt. Make sure you have that. Okay. All right. I filed VAWA in April 2021. I received the combo card and 4 prima facie. Neither the combo card, neither the prima facie document have any indication or indicate in any way whatsoever that your VAWA is going to be approved, okay? Now, they do take about 2.5 to 3 years to approve a VAWA, and we have a couple of applications that are 3 years in and they're still waiting. But based on April 2021, you should be getting it soon. My pleasure, Misty. I got approval for my sister last year. Now her case is at NVC. Don't know how long to wait. For brother or sister, depending on the country, anywhere between 16 and 23 years. Let's see. Canadian visits for 2 months, overstays an extra month, and married US citizen. Is that okay? It depends. Generally speaking, if they visit for 2 months, how did they overstay an extra month? Because Canadians have 6 months. How did they overstay? Okay, so give me more information there, because you don't give me all the whole story. Nobody overstays from Canada. Nobody overstays after 2 months. Let's see. The request my medical, and I did it and sent it 130 to 120 days, 3 days ago. Still waiting on my green card. Okay, they might choose to call your case for an interview. So in that case, they have your medical, you did it, you wait. Okay, what would tell me more, give me more information is location and priority date. Okay, I may be able to pull it up or not. It's very slow, my system right now. So you're welcome, Zelly. I have 10 years here in US and they never scheduled me at interview court. Okay, so Albo, when you say you've been here for 10 years, just because you've been here for 10 years doesn't mean you applied for asylum 10 years ago, okay? So if you applied for asylum, did you have your asylum interview, and did they send you to immigration court? Did they refer you to immigration court? Okay, you do not want to sit on that, because if you were scheduled for even one interview with the court and you didn't show up, you may already have an order of removal. Sometimes they send you a notice, you don't get it, you don't go to court, and they just send the notice to remove you. Okay, so call your immigration lawyer and have that looked into as soon as possible, please. Okay, if you didn't have an interview for asylum at all, not even one interview, then you're still fine. You're not at immigration court. If you filed it affirmatively, you are at immigration court. If you filed it defensively, basically after you were already in a removal. So I would need to know how you enter the country and all that. Can a US citizen, Asitan, can US citizens file for green card for her husband who's here illegally for 20 years? It depends on how your husband entered the country. Does he have a record? Depends on how many people you sponsored before. It depends. Do not do anyone who entered the country illegally, okay? Or you entered without a valid visa, or there is anything whatsoever going on in your immigration history or marital history, okay? Do not even think of filing on your own without having at least a full consultation with an immigration attorney. Okay? Don't do it. You're looking for trouble. It's like asking to be deported. Don't do that. Is it better to file online or by mail? It depends on the type of application. Are processing times accurate? Processing times are not even remotely accurate. How long for EAD renewal while VAWA is still pending? It's the same time as an initial work permit. It could take 9 to 10 months. They say to apply 6 months ahead before the expiration. Yeah, we apply about 6 months ahead, but then the client knows that it will take longer than that. Generally speaking, you do not want to leave your current employer when you are on a work permit until you get the new work permit, okay? Misty, how long do they take to update once they receive the RFE? Once they receive the RFE, the new status should say, we received your request for evidence response, and we are starting to process again your case. If you have that, then at least you have peace that they received it, and that's it, okay? You wait. Jonah, because they stamped it only for 2 months. Don't look at the stamp on the passport. Go and check the I-94 online. Sometimes they put a different date on the stamp and it's not the same as on your I-94. Now, if they are here from Canada, they got stamped 2 months and the I-94 is also 2 months and they overstayed by 1 month and they did not leave the United States, yes. If they are married to a US citizen, not a permanent resident, they could get the green card. Do not do it on your own. Hire an immigration lawyer. You guys don't have to hire me. Just hire an immigration lawyer, okay? Obviously, I like if you hire me, but you don't have to. I got a receipt from petitioning my unmarried daughter filed 20 months ago. How long again is the wait? So when you said you got a receipt, you filed the I-130, it will take a long time, okay? If your daughter is aging out, you might have some ways to expedite the case, but it's very limited and a huge calculation needs to be done to determine that, okay? So let's see what we can do on that. Sam, I did my interview and they request after that. Okay, what did they request? How would you know if there's going to call you for an interview? You do not know until they are actually sending you the interview notice. Rocky, I do not know the answer to your question. I applied, Rimsha, I applied for my husband in 2020. Documentary qualified is December 9, 2021. When should I get an interview? It's very consulate specific, okay? Remember what, I don't know if you were here a few minutes ago when I said how they scheduling interviews. There are still consulates that are not scheduling any interviews whatsoever. None, zero. Ask Haiti. You are obviously not from Haiti, but I don't know if your country is processing immigrant visa, IV, okay? I don't know if they're processing immigrant visas. You're probably ahead of the line considering that is December 9, 2021. And you say DQ, so that's documentarily qualified. So I'm assuming your priority date is current. Are you a permanent resident or are you a US citizen? All those things make a difference, okay? Green card holder pending I-130, married with embassy interview. How long does it take? Exactly what I just told the person ahead of you. It depends on the consulate, okay? They will prefer and they will process immigrant immediate relatives before they process family preference. You're a green card holder, your spouse is family preference. So it depends on the consulate. No, the processing times are not accurate. As an F1 student and later added dependent, am I shielded from removal if I stop schooling? You could be a permanent resident and you're still not shielded from removal. Nobody is shielded from removal. Nobody, unless you are a US citizen. I'm a permanent resident. Can my spouse come to the US and I marry him and adjust his status? If they have a tourist visa, sure, they can. But if your spouse has immigrant intent and your intent is right now, before he's even on his way, planning on him coming here, that is immigrant intent at the time of entry and could lead to a denial, okay? I did apply for asylum. They never scheduled me for an interview at all. They say the delay is because of COVID-19. No, it's not. It's because of how they're processing asylum cases. Make sure you did not get called for that at all, okay? Make sure you did not have an interview that you missed. See what's going on in your particular asylum office, okay? Did you apply for affirmative asylum or defensive asylum? Did you apply with the asylum office or did you apply at the immigration court? My first interview was a Stokes interview. Is that a good or bad thing? Angelo, how do you know it's called the Stokes interview? And no, it's not a good thing on your first interview to have a Stokes interview. Does it happen? Sure, it does, but it's not good. But how did you know it's called the Stokes? Having a joint sponsor doesn't delay your case. Can I file N-400 if my green card renewal is being processed? Yes, assuming you qualify. Medical exam. It's good, Sam. If they ask for your medical exam, you're on your way, okay? Do you work on deportation cases? I'll give you a call. Call our office, do a full intake with my team, book a consultation, and then we can see. If I cannot help you, then I know the right people to help you, okay? Or at least I'll give you enough advice to know what to do on your own if that's the best option for you. So let's look at that, okay? It's been 1,000 days. 1,000 since they requested RFE on medical, nothing after that. Married to US citizen. Are you in the United States or are you abroad? If they did their RFE, you're probably still in the United States. Is 1,000 the correct number? That makes no sense. So that makes no sense. It's way too long. Things like that don't happen. Okay, something's up. Can you have asylum case and a marriage visa processing at the same time? Yes, you can have 10 applications processing at the same time. You just need to make sure they don't conflict with each other and you do not have information on your applications that is conflicting from one to another. I got my spouse green card, but I have a pending asylum application. Can I travel? You no longer have a pending asylum application if your green card was approved through your spouse. If you still have a pending asylum application, you have a problem. You need to withdraw that application and absolutely do not travel to your country where you're claiming asylum from until you are a US citizen. Just don't do it. How soon after a divorce can a US citizen remarry and sponsor new spouse? The next day, as soon as divorce is final, as long as the divorce is final. People don't realize the day the judge says you are divorced doesn't mean that is the day you are divorced. It depends on your jurisdiction. In Florida, it's the same day. If you got divorced in Canada, depending on which province, it could be 30 days, 60 days, or a year. It depends on where you're getting divorced. Yes, Angela, I know they separated you. Obviously, that's a Stokes, but how do you know it's called a Stokes? Good job, though. When the benefit center, they have nothing says they have to schedule an interview. Do you know how long it's going to take? Nope. Valentino, can I file for citizenship if I have petty larceny misdemeanor in New York and I served 90 days in jail? A full analysis needs to be done on that particular crime. And it has to be done not only on the facts related to your case, but also on how the statute reads, how the penal code in New York is versus the immigration to actually advise you on that, okay? There is no easy answer. And if you call any lawyer's office and immediately they tell you, oh yeah, you can file without even looking at your record, please run the other way. All right. Okay, so you already submitted to withdraw your asylum application. How long does it take? It could take anywhere from a month to about 2 years. You want to follow up on that. You can, Empress Chaos, you cannot apply for a cousin. You cannot. You have to apply for a parent, a spouse, a child, or a sibling. That's it. There are no other options. All right, guys, I've been here a long time. I have to go. So I will try to address more questions on Thursday about the same time. And sorry, I can't address any more today. This is it. All right. Good to see you guys. Put the questions, give us a call, or put the questions in my profile. I'll try to address them. Bye.